Another state minister and a deputy minister sworn in.
Fuel pricing formula on the back of a global oil price dip.
Irate public dispersed protesting students at Lipton Circus.
Unauthorized waterway constructed in the Tibirigolla Reserve in Bakmitiava, Ampara.
Host fumbles announcement of Miss Universe winner.
I have to apologize.
Hello, good evening and welcome. This is Primetime News on MTV and Shakti TV. Good evening, Vikesh.
Good evening, Nadeem, and good evening to everyone here at home and across the globe. Let's now move on to the top story for tonight.
A new state minister and deputy minister were sworn in before President Maithripala Sirisena today.
The swearing-in ceremony took place at the Presidential Secretariat.
Lanka took oaths as State Minister of Local Government and Provincial Councils before President Maithripala Sirisena. Sarthi Dushmanta Mitrapala was sworn in as Deputy Minister of Buddha Sasana. Dushmanta Mitrapala already holds the position of Deputy Minister of Justice.
Employees of the Colombo Municipal Council were felicitated at an event held under the auspices of President Maithripala Sirisena today in line with the Council's 150th anniversary.
The President launched the new website of the Colombo Municipal Council today. A city cannot be turned into a village. At the same time, we should not be turning villages into cities. Any country's unique identity resides in the villages of that country. Every major city in the world is embracing revolutionary change in commercial society and the new world along with technology. I strongly believe that the knowledge, intelligence and experience of the people residing in a particular city or village should be reflected in that city or village. I believe that the city and the village must not be conjoined at any point.
The
President also commented on future targets. On the 8th of January, we will mark 1 year since I was elected to the presidency. And together with my friend Minister Champika Ranawaka, the Prime Minister and the other ministers and MPs, we hope to unveil the Megapolis Development Plan.
Oil prices slid to a record 11-year low in global markets today.
Brent crude was selling at $36 a barrel, a record plunge in crude prices after 2004, according to foreign media. The utilization of U.S. reserves was cited as the reason for the plunge in world oil prices in the recent past. The lifting of sanctions imposed on Iran and the circulation of Iranian oil in the world market has contributed to the nosedive in oil prices around the world. The political instability prevailing in Spain could also be cited as a reason for the downfall in the price. The price formula is such that Sri Lankans can benefit from the reductions in prices in the world market. I have to mention that the cabinet paper has to be prepared to swiftly obtain the cabinet approval. A decision on how exactly people can reap the benefits could only be reached following the approval of the cabinet paper.
Students of the engineering faculty at the Southeastern University staged a demonstration in Colombo today, citing several academic and non-academic issues. The students who commenced their protest march at Campbell Grounds in Badulla marched to the University Grants Commission and staged a demonstration opposite the premises. The demonstrators, who were protesting while obstructing the road, demanded discussions with the chairman of the UGC. There are only 11 lecturers. Our question is, can the academic activities of 3 student groups at an entire faculty be handled by these 11 lecturers? There is no proper environment anywhere close to this university for the creation of an engineer. The Bogambara prison is built in a small space in the Kandy town. There are several such spaces in Colombo. If we are allocated a space like that, then we are ready. Thereafter, the protesting students moved to Lipton Circus. However, members of the public, evidently irritated as a result of the heavy traffic, had taken matters into their own hands and dispersed the demonstrators.
Residents of about 15 villages staged a protest at the Amanukola junction in Galgamu today, blocking the Padina-Anuradhapura road. The villagers were demonstrating against the state's lackluster approach to road development in the area.
Villagers claim that the two access roads to Megalava have fallen into ruin as a result of the failure to carry out any maintenance work over the past 20 years. We work throughout the day, and at night we must keep a lookout for elephants. When taking children to school, we have to travel on these precarious roads. Ministers and MPs travel here by year, and they can see the state of these roads. We do not have a leader in Galgamu. None of the roads have been maintained. There are no transportation facilities. They have put up hoardings but have not built the roads. Our correspondent says that the demonstration, which commenced at 9 a.m., continued until 12:30 in the afternoon, causing major congestion on the Padina-Anuradhapura road. The demonstrators dispersed after MP Tharunath Basnayaka promised to grant them an audience on the 27th of this month with officials from the Northwestern Province Road Development Authority.
Here in Colombo, at a media briefing held today, the Government Medical Officers Association warned of yet another trade union action.
The Government Medical Officers Association says that they require reasonable responses from the government regarding the issues that have arisen in the state sector through the budget, the harmful situation which is probable through the proposed Lanka trade agreement, and the GMO's opposition of the private medical college. We held a discussion with the President last Friday on these factors. In response, the President requested us to wait till the final budget reading on Saturday and to see how far our requirements have been met. We have received reasonable responses up to a certain extent, but they are not 100% satisfactory. We will give the government a period of 2 weeks to make the necessary amendments. In that time frame, if the government is open for a discussion, then so are we. But if we do not come to a consensus during that discussion after the Executive Committee meeting on the 4th of January next year, we will be on standby to launch an island-wide trade union action. A special delegation from Sri Lanka is leaving to India to plan this agreement. In this agreement, it states that the government will open sectors of information technology and repairs on ships to India. So this is a complete invasion of our job market. This will eventually spread to other sectors. The other risk in this agreement is that there is no assurance of the quality of Indian employees.
The 12th graduation ceremony of the Institute of Certified Management Accountants of Sri Lanka was held at the Bandaranaike Memorial International Conference Hall today.
The event was graced by Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Harsha De Silva.
This whole argument about bringing professionals from overseas to work here is misplaced. In what is called a comprehensive economic partnership agreement, yes, there are 4 modes of service trade. Now the 4th mode of service delivery is what you are worried about. That is called the movement of natural persons. Now what I am trying to tell you is there is no discussion between the government of Sri Lanka and the government of India to include the mode 4 of service trade. So get this very clearly, and I am telling you with authority, there is no mode 4 service in any agreement that Sri Lanka will sign with India.
The immensely successful Sirasa Christmas Zone is drawing to a close tonight.
The Sirasa Christmas Zone was declared open this evening by Reverend Emmanuel Fernando, Auxiliary Bishop of Colombo.
Through this television channel of MTV Sirasa Sakti have taken a keen interest through this Christmas celebration to bring peace and joy to all the people who are watching this, who are come here in order to enjoy this great festival. So as we celebrate this year's Christmas, let us find through such celebrations we can bring joy to all the adults, all the young people, and all the children who come and find that they can enjoy.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Time for parties.
The sounds of the Sri Lanka Army Band enliven the atmosphere at the Christmas Zone this evening. The Christmas Zone also featured a nativity play. The Kids Zone, a crowd favorite, featured a number of games and events, with the children receiving a special visit from Santa Claus. The Sirasa Christmas Zone also features Wanderers fireworks display. The Christmas Zone also features voice tests from the Samanila Sirasa program on Sirasa FM and a card collection point for Sirasa FM's promotion campaign, Hatara Mahanidhanaya.
Newsfirst Siddharth Kotian joins us live now from the Sirasa Christmas Zone.
A very good evening. It is the last and final evening of this special Sirasa Christmas event. We're in the special Christmas zone right now, and as you can see behind me, there are people just pouring in, and it's so lovely to be part of the entire Christmas event. Christmas, of course, has come early this year for all of us here at Sirasa, and those of us who have decided to attend this very special event. We have the nativity play going on. We've got lots of angels and plenty of wise men in the background over there who are taking part, lots of children taking part in this nativity play, and just a general display of what Christmas is all about. Unfortunately, today is the last day, and we'll be saying goodbye to all of this lovely setup that was put up specially by Sirasa for the Christmas season. Wishing all of you at home a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I'm Sid Kotian for News First.
A decision from the Court of Appeal on Friday has prevented the Tibirigolla Reserve in Bakpitiawa Ampara from facing similar destruction to what was witnessed in Wilpattu. As per the court's decision, the police and the Forest Conservation Department must immediately evict persons who have established unauthorized paddy cultivations in the Watamadu area of the Tibirigolla Reserve. When considering the numerous exposés carried on Action TV in the past with regard to the Watamadu grazing grounds, it is doubtful if the Forest Conservation Department will show any enthusiasm in enforcing the court order. While the 4,000-acre area in Watamadu was declared a grazing ground via a gazette notification in 1976, it was protected until 2010. The current situation unravelled when the Forest Conservation Department took over the land from the Ampara District Secretariat and laid the foundation for paddy cultivation to commence here. Dairy farmers who for more than 3 decades were allowed to graze their herds on these lands were denied this right through organised and unauthorised paddy farming, which in turn led to public unrest. Until the Tirukkovil police brought this matter to court, the Forest Conservation Department remained complacent. A notable result of this case is that while the Potuvil magistrate issued a verdict regarding the ownership of the land, the Forest Conservation Department in its lethargy failed to even file an appeal. An appeal was eventually filed by the dairy farmers themselves at the Kalmune High Court. Not to be outdone, the unauthorised paddy farmers filed an appeal at the Court of Appeal against a backdrop where it became evident that the hearing at the Kalmune High Court was not going in their favour. The unauthorised paddy farmers who requested permission to remain on this land until they reap their harvest in 2 years returned to the Court of Appeal on Friday seeking a similar provision. While this request was rejected by the court on Friday, our cameras captured this footage yesterday, which shows that the unauthorised paddy farmers have dug a kilometre-long waterway through the Tibirigolla Reserve to irrigate their paddy cultivations. While the dairy farmers are taking a proactive approach to protect the Wattamadu grazing grounds, which comes under the purview of the Forest Conservation Department, it boggles the mind that the department has failed to even protect the Tibirigolla forest, which it is directly responsible for. Secretary to the Ministry of Environment, over to you.
In more local news, Manjula Yapa, director at Avant-Garde Security Services Private Limited, was summoned to the Presidential Commission of Inquiry into large-scale corruption and fraud today.
Manjula Yapa appeared before the Presidential Commission of Inquiry as per a notice issued on the 19th of December to 4 officials of Avant-Garde Security Services Private Limited, including its chairman.
We have already informed the Commission and filed a preliminary objection, noting that since the chairman of Avant-Garde has already been issued notice to appear on the 26th of November, a parallel investigation cannot be conducted. These witnesses have appeared here for this purpose without prejudice. Former Secretary to the Ministry of Justice, Kamlinidhi Silva, also appeared before the Presidential Commission of Inquiry today for questioning over ministry-affiliated institution which has been functioning from the World Trade Center on a lease basis since 2013.
3 persons who gained notoriety for the intense competition between them in politics in the Badulla district in the recent past were seen together at a function held today.
Ministers Nimal Siripala de Silva, Harin Fernando and Dilan Pereira have constantly featured on the political scene for their slurs against each other. However, today, the trio declared open the new traffic light system opposite the Badulla hospital together.
The passerby must be wondering what is going on when they see the 3 of us together. They must be thinking that the ones who figuratively battered each other on stage are now seen in one place. We are together to pave the path forward and for no other reason. We do not need votes over the coming 5 years. We need to serve. For the first time, Minister Nimal, Minister Harin and I are attending the same ceremony in Badulla. This may be viewed as something out of the ordinary for the people here. It symbolizes a ray of light of unity. We segregate ourselves into different parties and prepare for an election. The concluded election brought out the message that unity serves as the key factor for building a country.
A man employed at a shop in Dematugoda has been abducted by a group of individuals. Police media spokesperson ASP Ruwan Gunasekara said that the abduction was carried out at about 2:30 this afternoon. Investigations have revealed that the defender which was used in the abduction belongs to MP Hirunika Premachandra. When questioned by the police, MP Hirunika Premachandra had said that a group working under her had been involved in the incident without her knowledge. The police media spokesperson said that the parliamentarian had said that the suspects will be produced to the police. However, ASP Gunasekara said that the suspects are yet to be produced to the police and only the abducted person was sent to the police. The individual concerned is to be admitted to hospital. Now, Newsfirst contacted MP Hirunika Premachandra a short while ago. She said that the abducted individual was not assaulted, adding that the suspects were also dispatched to the police.
The container operations at the Colombo harbour has reached the 5 million mark this year. The Ports Authority stated that this is the highest number of container operations that have been reported thus far.
The number of cargo ships which have arrived at the Colombo port have increased by 12.7%. 2,957 cargo ships have arrived in the year 2014, while 3,333 ships have arrived this year. We have earned a revenue of 29 billion this year. But the issue we face is that we have to cover the losses of the other harbour from the earnings of this harbour. We have to allocate the earnings we receive from the Colombo harbour for the loans that we have to pay for a number of years at the Hambantota harbour. But we will not hesitate to do this. We will only try to build up on what we have achieved. The Colombo port currently stands at the 26th position in the world, and we hope to bring this into the top 20 by the end of next year.
අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා එන අවුරුද්දේ අග වෙනකොට මේ වරාය පළවෙනි 20 ඇතුළට ගේන්න.
An event was organized in Colombo yesterday to discuss ways in which economic cooperation between Sri Lanka and South Korea could be further strengthened. The event was organized by the Pathfinder Foundation in collaboration with the South Korean Embassy.
We have the only deep water port in the region, in the South Harbour of the Port of Colombo. It's the 32nd or 33rd largest container port in the world. So when we look at these things, I think it's most important to position Sri Lanka in the region and as a gateway to a larger market. You cannot think about trade today without also thinking about investment. And you cannot think about goods trade without also thinking about services. These are all interconnected.
In 1960, Sri Lanka and South Korea, both these countries had the same per capita GDP, which is $152. And today, South Korea's per capita GDP is more than 10 times higher than Sri Lanka's. But today, as far as the Sri Lankan development is concerned, it is not limited to manufacturing development. I also think that it should go beyond manufacturing development as it has been over the past few decades.
In sports first, Sri Lanka cricket captain Angelo Matthews says that his side's poor batting performance was the cause of their defeat in the second test against New Zealand. New Zealand beat Sri Lanka by 5 wickets in the second test played in Hamilton today to seal a 2-0 series whitewash. And that's a wrap of Primetime News. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Videni Gunasena.
And I'm Nadim Majid. Good night and good luck.